Hey everyone, guess who's back? Yep, it's been a while and I apologize for the absence over the last couple of months here on the main channel. But hey, better late than never, I suppose. This isn't exactly the kind of video I wanted to return with, but considering that this is a topic that I've wanted to talk about for a while now, I figured, hey, if I'm gonna talk about this, now's the time to do it. So, with that out of the way, let's get into it. I'm a big fan of Nintendo, always have been, and they are by far still my favorite game developer that continues to put out some of my favorite games out there. That being said, however, being a Nintendo fan in 2021 is kinda frustrating, as it's no secret to anyone out there that over the last year or so, their reputation has been plummeting due to a series of what most would consider ass-backwards business decisions that have been the subject of much controversy and in some cases have resulted in near universal backlash from the community. However, everyone and their mother has already talked about all those problems to death and will continue to do so. And that is not what I'm here to talk about today anyways. No. Today, what I want to talk about is a problem that Nintendo has had for the last couple of years that almost no one has really talked about, as far as I can tell anyway. And I get why. Compared to everything else they're doing, this is much lower on the totem pole, and I get that. But for me, as crazy as it might sound to some people, it's actually higher up than you might expect, if not near the top. And what is that, you may ask? Well, my friends, that would be the fact that Nintendo is lacking something I feel like they are desperately in need of. And that is a central face for the company. Or, as most would call it, a figurehead. To understand what specifically I mean by this, let's take a look at the other two of the big three. That being, of course, Sony and Microsoft as an example. When you think of Xbox right now, who is the first person that comes to mind? It's of course Phil Spencer. He has been the undisputed face of Xbox for the last 5 or 6 years now and isn't going anywhere anytime soon and has a fairly good reputation with the community. Now, let's look at Sony. When you think PlayStation, who's the first person that comes to mind? In the past, it may have been Ken Kutaragi, Kaz Hirai, or Sean Layden as a couple of examples. But right now, I'd say it's probably Mark Cerny when it comes to the hardware, but overall, as representing PlayStation in general, right now, for better or for worse, that would probably be Jim Ryan. Now, it is also no secret that Jim Ryan has been in hot water over the last year or so, as well as Sony has been going through their own string of bad decisions as of late, and many have pointed the blame at Jim Ryan for this. But the point is, you know who he looks like, who he is, and how he operates. Other companies in a similar field also have this down as well, like Nvidia has the leather coat wearing Jensen Huang, and AMD has Dr. Lisa Su. So, I think at this point you all know exactly where I'm going with this. Right now, in 2021, when you think of Nintendo, who is the first person that comes to mind? Takahashi? Koizumi? Doug Bowser, perhaps you may say. Yeah. In my opinion, right now, Nintendo does not have any real face to speak of. Back in the Wii U 3DS days, we had several, such as Bill Trinen, Miyamoto, Aonuma for Zelda, Sakurai for Smash Bros., and of course the two most well-known and most popular of the bunch, Reggie Fils-aime and Satoru Iwata. All of them made consistent appearances in various conferences, launch events, skits, Nintendo Directs, and all that stuff. And as a result, they all gained themselves a following. However, over the years, they began to slowly disappear. Iwata unfortunately died in 2015, Bill Trinen, while still working at Nintendo, has made almost no public appearances since the 3DS Direct in September 2016, Miyamoto has practically retired from active game development outside of Pikmin 4, assuming that game even still exists, and has moved on to working on the theme parks and movie divisions. And last but not least, the one, the only, the legend, Reggie, of course himself. retired from Nintendo in April of 2019. The only people from the old days that are still around and have made consistent appearances that people like and care about anyway is Aonuma every once in a blue moon to tell us that Zelda has been delayed or something like that, or that we will share information about it later, please stay tuned, or something like that. And of course, there is Sakurai, who has been making consistent appearances for the last couple of years, which was fine for a while. However, now that Smash Ultimate is officially done, barring a couple of balance patches, we're not going to be seeing him again until Smash 6 gets announced in like 4 or 5 years for the Switch 2 or whatever the next system is going to be, assuming he doesn't do another project in between a la Kid Icarus Uprising. And yes, I do think Sakurai is going to be coming back, full stop, director and everything, once again for Smash 6, but that is a video for another day. All of this combined with Switch-era Nintendo's more straightforward and less, for lack of a better term, quirky way of doing things in general, I feel like has contributed to the complaint that an increasing amount of people, especially people that were around back in the Wii U 3DS days, have been saying over the last couple of years. That being that Nintendo feels a lot more corporate than they used to, and you know what? I completely agree with them on this one. I've definitely noticed and felt that lack of personality that we used to have back in the day, and it makes me appreciate the Reggie Iwata era of Nintendo even more than I already have. Oh, and there's one last thing I forgot to mention. You want to know what's the most bizarre thing to me about all this? The fact that Furukawa, the current CEO, has yet to make a single public appearance whatsoever, despite being, you know, the CEO, and also happens to speak fluent English. Yes, you heard that right. Furukawa can apparently speak in fluent English, meaning that if they decide to use him for directs and stuff, they wouldn't even have to dub him over and he would sound much more natural than the way Iwata used to speak. You think they take advantage of that, but for some reason they just choose not to. And with that being said, that's pretty much what I've got to say about this one aspect of Nintendo at the moment. Normally I don't do videos of this nature, but seeing as this is a complaint I have had for a while, and it's pretty much the thing right now to complain about Nintendo, I figured now would probably be the best time to do so, as I stated at the beginning. Besides, now that I've gotten this off my chest, so to speak, we can move on to bigger and better things on this channel. Speaking of which, as I stated earlier, I haven't uploaded on here for a while now, and the reason why I haven't is because I didn't really have any video ideas I really wanted to pursue that badly that couldn't just be done on, say, the Nincast. However, that is about to change. I won't say what it is just yet, although some of you out there will know what I'm talking about. But I do have something big planned for the main channel that's going to be coming out fairly soon. So, definitely keep on the lookout for that. And with that being said, this is Logan59XP, and I will see you guys next time.